Keek on the mic, keek on the mic. Keek on the mic, keek on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. I have a really interesting and fun topic for you guys today, as the report out of Chicago is this. Steve Young, Hall of Fame quarterback, thinks Justin Fields can shine regardless of Bears' record. And obviously, we have talked about this a lot on the podcast, and obviously you've heard it all around social media from the outside world, but everyone expects the Chicago Bears to be a really bad team, and it has even gone as far as people saying that the Bears are going to be the worst team in the NFL this season. That's obviously their opinion. But the question I want to ask you guys is this: with Justin Fields being on a bad team, does that automatically mean that he will have a bad season? And I will give you guys my answer later in the podcast, but for right now, comment down with your answer below in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys. In a recent interview, David Kaplan of the NBC Sports Chicago asked the same question to Hall of Fame quarterback Steve Young, and Young made it clear that the team's record shouldn't impact Fields' development. He believes a quarterback can play well during a season, and the team is still not good. Young also added that it has to be about improving everything he does. Field must become more efficient, quicken his operation, and learn how to process. It is all about stacking positive plays and minimizing negative ones. And obviously, this is a really good assessment from Steve Young, and I appreciate this assessment. These are guys that I like to give assessments, not these random experts, right? Guys that have actually played the position at a Hall of Fame level, at a high level for years, which is the reason why Steve Young is a Hall of Famer. So I really respect what Steve Young has to say. Even if he came out and bashed Justin Fields, I would still respect his opinion because he played the quarterback position at a high level, and he is now a Hall of Famer. And once again, this is a great assessment by Steve Young, and he is absolutely right. Last season, many quarterbacks had good seasons, and their team still underachieved. And some examples I want to give you guys are these. Russell Wilson went 6-8 while posting a 103.1 pass rating with 23 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, and he still went 6-8. Then you look at Kirk Cousins. He threw 33 touchdowns with only 7 interceptions, and the Vikings still finished only 8-8. These are two examples of two really good quarterbacks that had really good, pretty good seasons in NFL terms, and their team still underachieved. And while the quarterback positions, I'm not arguing this, while the quarterback position is one of the most important positions on the team, these examples prove, as a reminder, that football is a team sport, and the QB can't do it all by themselves. Another example that you can look at, and I think this is why Steve Young came out and gave this assessment on Justin Fields. I think he's been seeing all the backlash that these experts and these outside media have been giving not only the Chicago Bears, but Justin Fields. So I think that's the reason why Steve Young came out and gave his honest assessment on Justin Fields. You can use him as an example. Steve Young, during the 1991 season, which was early in Steve Young's career, he started 10 games. And he threw 17 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions with a 101.8 pass rating. And the 49ers still only went 5-5 during that stretch. So to answer the question that I asked you guys earlier in the podcast, yes, I think Justin Fields can still look good on a bad team. Yes, we can argue. I know a lot of you guys may comment on this podcast. Well, Keek, Ryan Poles still has a lot to do. And I totally agree with that. Ryan Poles is definitely not done building this team around Justin Fields. But if we're going to look at a personal player, if we're looking at individual players, which I heard a lot of you guys say this down below in the comment section, when I read your guys' comments, a lot of you guys have mentioned saying, well, this is a season where we are going to look at individuals to improve, right? This is not a winning year for the Bears. This is about development. when you're looking at just at that, if you're not looking at winning and just looking at development, yes, I think Justin Fields will have every opportunity to be better than last season. And I definitely think that Justin Fields will improve this season. He has 12 games under his belt from last season. He got a lesson in how physical and diverse NFL defenses are. And despite everything, I know a lot of you guys will say, well, Keek, he had a terrible coach and a terrible offensive line. But even everything he went through last season, he still found a way to improve. When you looked at his passer rating, it went from 64.8 through the first 5 starts to 84 through the next 5. And obviously, like I mentioned, that was behind a terrible offensive line and an offense that had no identity and a coach that had no clue what he was doing. So you kind of have to look at the positives. Even though it didn't look good, Justin Fields did have some slight improvement when you look at last season. And overall, that's what Ryan Poles spent this offseason trying to improve. He got more depth up front on the offensive line, and he got a new offensive coordinator in Luke Getsy that will tailor his system around Justin Fields and his strengths. So, yes, I do think Justin Fields, and I agree with Steve Young, I definitely think that Justin Fields can shine and improve even around a bad team. Do I think the Chicago Bears are going to be the worst team in the NFL? Absolutely not. I think that's why you play the game. Everyone that's giving their opinions, everyone that's bashing the Bears, saying they're going to win 3 games, let's play the first 8 games first before you just throw out any assessment, right? I think that's a good measuring stick. After the first 8 games, you can kind of tell who the really good teams are, who the good teams are, and who the terrible teams are. So let's play 8 games first before we start making these wild assessments on the Bears or any other team in the NFL and saying that they're going to be a 3-win team or they're going to be the worst team in the NFL. That's my opinion on it. But yes, once again, I do think Justin Fields can still shine around a bad Chicago Bears team. So once again, let me ask you guys this. Do you guys think Justin Fields can still improve or still be really good behind a bad Chicago Bears team? And how do you guys feel about what Steve Young had to say about Justin Fields? Let me know down below in the comment section. I'm really looking forward to hear what you guys have to say about this. But before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, I'll be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic.